Hey, what's up, everybody? I got another video for you guys. This will be a short one. I'm going to illustrate to you guys with an example what a false dichotomy is. And I think some of the stuff, the psychological manipulation that propagandists use today it's getting so refined that you might not be able to tell off the bat. But this is an example here. This guy, Benny Johnson. If you're on Twitter, if you're on the right side of the spectrum, you've likely seen this guy. He's got like a million point eight followers or fans or whatever. So he's a commentator that posts a lot of stuff. And these people, they're out seeking, they're constantly in search of different types of content to show the world, like gotchas and things like that. And there's something that he's doing that he doesn't even realize that he's doing, or he does realize it, which is kind of nefarious. So I'm going to actually play the video first. It's about a minute and a half, or a minute and 8 seconds. And we're going to just take in the obvious here, okay? This is between Peter Ducey of, I think it's Fox News, and cringe Jean Pierre, Kareem or whatever, Kareem Abdullah-Jabbar Pierre. Um, so, anyways, without further ado,
response so far is robust. Did you guys realize that the initial Hawaii wildfire response was not that good? Or is it just easier for people to get help from the White House when the president is not on vacation?
okay, so right off the bat, Peter Ducey is saying stuff that he knows everybody is kind of thinking about. So there's this truth economy, I would say right now. There's a fear economy and there's a truth economy. There are people who are buying on both sides. Like you could point to people who jerk off to COVID mandates, and then you have people who jerk off to truth type stuff. There's an economy around that, and with an economy like that, if you're selling information there or providing it, you're going to have more worth. There's going to be more demand for you. So Peter Ducey is saying stuff that basically everybody knows, right? Like there's something odd going on. The response doesn't make any sense. Okay, so he's saying basic truisms. I'm not trying to give you or give this guy a pat on the back or anything. He's doing what he should be doing, what pretty much every journalist should be doing. The only reason why you notice it with him is because journalists don't do their job. Okay, so I'm not saying by any means that he's a good journalist. I'm just saying that he's just doing what a journalist would typically do. But with that being said, I also think he's doing it in the most cowardly kind of way. He's not aggressive about what he asks, and you'll see that here in a second.
So the premise of your question and the way you pose your question, I disagree, just for the record.
Does anybody really care what this lady thinks? Her job is to report, right? So her saying I disagree with whatever, I know who should fucking give a shit about that? I mean, anyway.
So if you were to do your reporting and speak to the governor of Hawaii, the senators of Hawaii, the folks on the ground, they would say that the president reacted in record time.
So there's a lot of assumptions that I'm also assuming here, but there's an assumption here that Peter Ducey, a journalist, did not do what he was supposed to do being a journalist. So his job is to be a journalist. Her job is to report different things, not to give her opinion about stuff. It's basically just to provide facts. Okay, and what I would say is pretty interesting here is that her assuming that Peter Ducey didn't do his job is probably a bit of projection on her end because she doesn't do anything. She doesn't do her job. Her job, again, is to provide facts. She doesn't do that. So she's projecting, assuming that Peter Ducey did not also do his research prior to bringing this question up to this clown here.
When it came to dealing with the wildfires, when it came to dealing and making sure that they got everything that they need on the federal level to deal with what was going on the ground. Let's not forget there were more than 600 federal employees on the ground already to assist with the wildfires in Maui. So your question is wrong, it's flawed in many, many ways, and I would.
You know, you guys ever hear like there's never there's no wrong questions. There might be wrong answers. You ever hear this stuff? It's very like patronizing. It's basically what people say to kids. If he was black, I bet you she wouldn't say that. She'd be like, "Oh, that was a great question. I appreciate you asking that. That was very brave of you to ask such a question because, raising your hand and being present is very brave of you. So, yeah, very thank you so much. But since you're white, we really don't fucking care that you asked a question. Instead, we're just going to tell you that the question was wrong because it was too difficult for me to answer it. So please next time come with some softballs. Just tell me how pretty I am, how much I don't look like a clown. Anyway, this lady is a piece of shit, and Benny Johnson is also a piece of shit. The fact that anybody expects her to deliver any kind of fact, any kind of worthwhile or factual types of information, they're delusional. But we're not at that point anymore. We already know that the Biden administration is corrupt, that nobody in the quote unquote Biden administration has any fucking control. Instead, they're puppets and they're controlled by somebody else. So why even give this a look? Why should we even pay attention here? We know this? Okay, let's move on past that. Now what? What should we do? If we know that this administration is corrupt and illegitimate, what should you be doing now? We already came to the conclusion of something. Like if it's hot outside, right? Like let's say it's 100 degrees out. We already know that. That's a fact. So now what do? Are you going to go hang out outside for 5-6 hours, work out directly in the heat? Are you not going to bring water? Are you whatever? Or are you going to plan ahead because you know the facts of the situation? Benny Johnson is the same piece of shit that this Kareem Jean-Pierre is. They're playing people on both sides. They have to, one, rile you up, and the other has to lie to you. They both view you as a child, as somebody who doesn't have the cognitive capacity to really think for yourself. Okay? They're feeding you bullshit. They're feeding that to you, and you're supposed to be cool with it. Why? Because this dude might be on your team? Why? Because Kareem Jean-Pierre might be on your side, on your team? They're both stupid. They're both diminishing the value, like your value of life. What do they add to your life? This is fluff. It's masturbatory. It's nonsense. So what do? What do you do at this point? Should you be educating yourself? Maybe learning how to do your own research. Maybe instead of listening to these types of people, maybe figuring out how to get some direct reporting from people who are out in Hawaii. Maybe making connections through LinkedIn or other social media groups where you can actually communicate with people who are there and not the people who they prop up. Anyway, I wanted to put this out there for people to see a false dichotomy and to understand that these are not your only options. You have a third way. That third way is to find people who respect you on an intellectual level, that value you and value your time. Okay? These are not those people. Okay? One person trying to diminionize the importance of understanding what the fuck is going on in Hawaii, and the other person who wants you to believe that that this is important information from Karine Jean-Pierre, who clearly doesn't know anything. She is a puppet, just like Joe Biden. They're the same fucking piece of shit. So what are you expect? It might actually be worth newsworthy if she ever delivers any kind of useful information. That could be newsworthy. But what is this? Were you expecting anything different from her? No. So Stop fucking following these types of people. He has 1.8 million followers on Twitter. Why? So he could tell you what you already know. That's good job, guys. Anyways, I will likely be, if you made it to this part of the video, I will likely be improving my setup for YouTube within the next couple weeks. Maybe I'll take this a little bit more seriously. I like to comment on certain things that, um, you know, just like weird, odd things that I see here and there. So if you like my types of commentary, I'll probably put a little bit more effort into things besides just doing a rant style. These are one-offs where I don't edit anything. These are just my thoughts flowing straight through. I don't even read off of anything. So if you like this, if you appreciate it, then cool. I'll show you guys some gratitude by increasing uh, my production output within the next 2 weeks. So I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.